What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is the Fullstack Bro. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about most effective ways to learn how to code. Okay. There's so many different ways to become better at coding if you're starting out. So I'm going to go through a list that I created personally that has helped me become good at becoming a developer. So let's get to it. The first thing that helped me tremendously was practicing. Practice. Now, I learned, there's a video actually about my journey as a full stack developer, and I'll have it linked somewhere here on the screen. But you check that out, definitely pause this video and check it out if you want to understand like what it took for me to become full stack. When it comes to getting better at coding, to code effectively, you have to spend time practicing. You have to spend time a day, sitting there for 20 to 30 minutes a day, working on one particular language and understanding the key concepts. Okay. So if you're not understanding the key concepts, then obviously you're not getting anywhere. When you first start out, it's going to be hard for you to retain that information. But what you need to do is not think that the first day you're going to gain all this knowledge, right? It doesn't matter if you spend an hour, 8 hours on one particular topic. You might retain some information, but it's not going to be beneficial to you because your brain is going to be mush. Okay. What you need to do is set a time block for 30 minutes to an hour a day that you're going to be using that time to focus on one language at a time and just go through the basics, right? Buy a course. You could go to Udemy. Udemy is my personal favorite for courses. There's also Coursera. There's other websites that are out there, but go to Udemy and pick out a language, like do research on an instructor, have introduction videos that explains what the course is going to be about. Click on those links, check it out, see if it's something that is worth your time doing. If you like the instructor, the way they break down things, and go for it. Then from there, just block out 30 minutes to an hour of going through that course and try to gain as much knowledge as possible, right? And only stick to that schedule. Don't do anything else after that. Because what's going to happen is you're going to spend an hour or two working through a course and following along with the instructor, and some of the concepts you're going to forget. I've done this in the past too, when it came to understanding Python and data science. There's a course that I had that's over like 120 chapters, right? And I got through like the first 10 to 20 of them, and I never went back to it because I just realized that I was spending way too much time trying to understand the concepts and just following with the instructor. I wasn't gaining or understanding the real need for the course, right? I wasn't doing that. So I had to just cut my losses there because there's so much that you could learn and retain. So like I said, 30 minutes to an hour, take that time to practice. The second thing is learn multiple languages. Now, I'm not saying learning multiple languages at the same time. Pick 2 to 3 languages that you're passionate about, that you really want to spend time learning. And for each language, make sure that you're at a good spot to where, okay, I got the concepts down. I can write in this language pretty proficiently. I think it's time to move on to the second language. And then if it's something else that you want to learn in the first language versus the second, obviously you could go back and just refresh on those concepts. But the goal here is to learn as much as you can for the first language to where you could become more proficient at it. And then work on the second language, do the same thing, and the third, and so on. And then once you get comfortable with those 3 languages, if there's another language that you want to learn that's going to help you get the job that you want in the future, whether you want to just be a Python developer, you want to be completely full stack with front end and back end experience, or just purely front end. Once you understand exactly what you want to do, that will make it a lot easier for you to pick the languages that you want and just stick to that. Like, you don't have to learn 10 different languages. If the business use case is there for it, then obviously go for it. If it makes your life easier as a developer because it cuts down on the amount of time that it takes to write out code to get something done, go for it. I implore you guys to do that. But just make sure that it's the right thing for you. The third thing is just start writing code. Don't just get books or look at YouTube and just get the concepts down that way and then think that you know how to write code. The only way to get better at writing code is to start. If you start writing out basic code, having it compiled, having it run on the browser, if you're working through that, or in the console itself, and it does exactly what it's going to do, then you're on the right track. Okay. I'm a big proponent in just throwing yourself out there and just start writing and understanding things. If you fail, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Now, when it comes to understanding a project that you want to work on, that's another story. Like you have to do some research on that. But as long as you just start in the IDE, writing something out to where it's something simple like printing out hello world or, creating a data set, whatever you want to do, that's going to be your ticket to getting better. Next thing is take frequent breaks. If you're not taking frequent breaks, you're going to be burnt out. To mitigate that, at least 30 minutes to an hour of work, of coding, you take that break, you're good to go, and you'll come back more refreshed. I do personally, because I've been doing this so long, 4 hours is my time to, code. After that 4 hours, I'm done coding. I'm done. I don't have the bandwidth for it. Unless I have other meetings to attend and all that stuff, obviously I would do that. But when it comes to getting the code in a good spot, 4 hours is my sweet spot. And then, I will come back the next day refreshed and be like, okay, you know what? Now it's time to write additions to my code, right? If I left off at a good point. Usually I get a ton of stuff done in 4 hours because I'm very proficient in writing JavaScript. But when it comes to, certain things, if it's a big feature, obviously I have to sit there and take breaks and get to a certain point. Like if I want to get like the back end and front end architecture done for a feature, I'll make sure to focus on that for the 4 hours, right? Even if I just get the back end architecture done, that's a win for me. But you have to just keep yourself accountable for taking those breaks. Another thing that you need to do to become effective is think outside the box. Don't just assume, especially as you're working as a developer, that the requirements that are set there are the final requirements. There's going to be certain educations that you're going to be thinking about as you're writing out your code and getting these features done. Like, what if the user does this, right? What if the user clicks this button and they don't have the necessary permissions to do so? What if we didn't have the right status for this, and would it change the data model? Those that create edge cases, you have to bring that up to the other developers that are working on the project. Thinking outside the box will save you so much headache as opposed to not just sticking to the requirements. You have to be creative in that mindset, right? Because those issues are going to come up. For example, if QA doesn't find it, the customers that are using it or the users that's going to be using your app, they're going to find these issues, and then you have to go and fix them. So if you think outside the box, you should be able to get things done more efficiently and mitigate a lot of bugs going into production as opposed to not doing so, right? And if you're working on a personal project and you're working through a course or YouTube, obviously, once the YouTube tutorial is done or once the course is done, that's it, right? You learn as much as you could. But it's good to think outside the box in terms of how you can make that project a lot better to where it could be useful for someone. And this is going to make you more accountable to the knowledge that you're acquiring as a developer. So definitely think about what would happen in an application if a user was to use it out there in production. The different use cases that you want to lock down in terms of roles and permissions, and then also how the user should be using the application. Okay, so having that mindset is key to building your own things. And then the last thing is you got to stay active. Just sitting at home or sitting in the office is not productive. It's counterintuitive, actually, to your success. You have to stay active, going on long walks, If you're not a person that likes to go to the gym, I'm a big proponent of going to the gym at least 3 to 5 times a week. I think that's the optimal sweet spot. If you're just trying to stay active and stay healthy, definitely look into getting a gym membership. If you don't have one, make some time for the gym as much as possible. Not only are you going to notice that you're going to have a physical change in how you look, right? Also, your mental clarity will be there. So regardless if you had 8 hours of sleep, which is very important, by the way, get your 8 hours of sleep, but sleeping and then also having a active regimen of going to the gym or going on a walk or a run will have you so supercharged to where you could retain information a lot better. You could write code a lot more efficiently, and you'll have the bandwidth for other things if you do this. Cheat code is a stay active. That's going to help you become so much more disciplined in terms of how you solve problems and how you go about your day, so that is not a routine. You change it up, with your routine, and it's going to make things a lot easier when it comes to different projects that you are assigned to or you want to do. So make sure that you're taking care of your health. That's very, very important. And that's it. That's the video. So if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. In the comments, I want to know exactly what you guys are doing to be more effective at coding and whether this video has helped you take initiative and action to becoming better. Okay? Appreciate it. We'll talk soon.